Are you paying too much in taxes? Elevated Tax and Accounting is a firm that specializes in tax planning and strategy to minimize your tax bill. Elevated Tax consult with you on tax strategy throughout the year, so no more waiting until the end of the year and hoping for the best. As a business owner, you know your sole focus should be spent working on your business, not in it. Outsourcing gives you the time to concentrate on the core reasons you started your company, to create and innovate a top-tier product and generate profits. Elevated Tax and Accounting, elevating you and your business with a modern professional touch.
Driving along on the highway and you've been hit by a semi-truck. Now what do? You call your Montana attorneys, Ryan and Miller. We have the expertise to help guide you along in these specific types of accidents. So these are the 3 steps that you need to follow. Number 1, make sure that the police are called and that there is a report of the accident. Second, make sure that you're getting the medical attention that you need and following up with your doctor. Third, do not talk to an insurance company until you've talked to an attorney. They are not going to help you protect your rights, and you want to make sure that you know all that you're entitled to. Contact an attorney today by clicking the link below.
Our NFL draft coverage continues, and a young man from Butte, Montana just got drafted on Saturday. Pretty cool deal for him. Pretty big deal for the state of Montana, too, because we had 2 guys that played high school football in the state of Montana go on Saturday. Our guest today, Tommy Mellott, former Montana State Bobcat, and now a member of the Las Vegas Raiders. Tommy, thanks for being here, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Colter. Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. I'm fired up for sure. It's a crazy time, but it is special. We got 2 Montana kids and a couple other opportunities for Montana kids as well. So I'm fired up.
Well, take us through your draft day. What was it like? Where were you at? I'm sure you're surrounded by family, but probably stressful, exciting all at the same time. So just take us through just the lead up to when you got picked, and then just tell us the story when your phone rang.
Yeah, I went back to Butte the morning of the draft. Got started at 10 o'clock. So, headed over there in the morning. Got everything kind of situated. I'm already kind of starting to move out, so I can have all my stuff back at my parents' house. And then I can pack up from there and bring everything I need to down to Vegas for the mini camp and OTAs and all that stuff. So I just kind of filed all that stuff back into my into the house, and then we just sat down and started watching. My girlfriend's family, they were able to make it down from Great Falls. My sister Haley came in from Billings. Abby's over here in Bozeman with me as well, and so she came back. And then I had 2 of my college roommates and friends that made it over there, and a couple of high school coaches. We all got to hang out, watch the draft, and it was just a crazy day for sure. There's a lot of speculation in media whether or not you're going to get drafted, and there seemed to be a lot of hype surrounding my name in the previous couple of weeks, and so there's a lot of interest in piquing people's interest at the right time, and so I didn't know if that truly meant that within organizations that it would make a difference, but I wanted to make sure that I could celebrate with my family, and nonetheless, I felt I was going to have an opportunity, whether it be undrafted or drafted, and so just have everyone around me and supporting me, it meant a lot, and it was great to have them all over there. So, when we're getting down to the end of the 6th round and into the 7th, I started really looking at all the teams that I'd been talking to that had expressed interest, and I really. I was kind of counting them down, the number of picks kind of remaining that I felt like I had a shot that someone might draft me there. And, I got a phone call a couple picks away from when I thought that I would possibly get a shot, So I, it was a Las Vegas area code, and I got on the phone, and it was, unfortunately I wasn't able to hear the name immediately, but it ended up being the general manager, Spytech. And so that was an amazing opportunity to talk to him, and he just introduced himself and said he was at the Las Vegas Raiders, and they got to talk to me for a couple moments there. Asked me how if I wanted to be a Raider, if I wanted to see him get drafted in the next pick, and it was really an unbelievable moment. I know I had shared this with Victor yesterday, but all those, I guess I was kind of instructed that, there might be calls throughout the day from various people that might be kind of gauging your desperation to some extent with how many teams are talking to you. And so to give them a tell, it might discourage them to actually draft you. And so this whole thing, I don't really understand very well, and I don't think anybody can completely understand. There's so much you might not know about. So as much as I was as excited as I really was, I was trying my best to hold my emotions in check for sure. So, but yeah, I was able to talk to him, and then I got to talk to Coach Carroll. And at one point, I kind of started to actually feel like this might be, like I said, I didn't hear it was the general manager to begin with. So, I didn't know if it was a scout or who I was talking to be honest with you. And then, I got to talk to Coach Carroll, and that's kind of when I realized it might be real. And it was crazy couple moments there. I was just sitting there like in unbelief, to be honest with you. But it's an honor for sure. And now just getting to know a little bit more about the organization, Coach Carroll, their, Spy Tech with their GM, Mark Davis, there's so many names, Chip Kelly, that I can't wait to get to talk to and learn from their experiences and go compete for them.
Join Town Pump's Pump It Up Rewards Plus program and never pay full price for fuel again.
Save 5 cents on every gallon every day at any Town Pump across Montana.
Plus, earn and redeem points on your favorite in-store items to get free stuff with our clubs.
Stop in and pick up a rewards card. Download the Pump It Up Rewards Plus app today.
Or visit townpump.com/rewards to register and start saving.
Town Pump. Right down the road. Pump it up. Oh, yeah.
Big Stat Breakdown, proudly presented by the Bobcat Collective at Montana State. The Bobcat Collective is the NIL collective that serves Montana State University student athletes. The collective has partnered with Montana State to connect fans, alumni, businesses, and local nonprofits with Montana State student athletes. Opportunities through the collective allow student athletes to earn compensation while serving the greater Montana State University community. Sign up now for memberships and enjoy automatic entry into raffles for free tickets while supporting the bright minds at Montana State. They have multiple different membership tiers, and you can also be a one-time supporter, and you can also business partner or corporate supporter. Visit bobcatcollective.com for more. Bobcat Collective, and the Bobcat Collective has a cool event coming up in July. This is a meet and greet that Mike's actually been a part of for a little while. So what happens here in July is there's a whole congregation of Bobcat current players that'll go. Mike will be there. Maybe some other former Bobcats will be there too. And you get a chance to meet and greet with all the players. And then you also get a chance to have a Q&A with Mikey. And it's a barbecue, and it's a whole gathering of Bobcat people. This is happening on July 16th in Billings. So I know you've been a part of this for a little while, Mike. So tell people a little bit about this event.
Yeah, it's a really cool event. First off, the setting, River Ridge Landscapes, Steve Landbauer does a really good job. He's got an incredible property out on the Yellowstone River. Absolutely stunning. Weather's been really cooperative the last couple of years, but we get the chance to, it's exactly what you said. It's a meet and greet, and it provides some really good food. And it's just a chance to get, 20 to 25 of these, close to Yellowstone County as we can get it, kind of Billings area, Bobcat players. And then they'll throw in some additional as well. From other areas and some out of state, which is really fun. But the goal is just really to get the community and these people that are coming supporting Bobcat football to just get an inside look of what it looks like to be a Bobcat football player. And so some of the Q&A, I just think the average person has no idea. They may go to games on Saturdays, but they've got no idea what it looks like the other, call it, 8 months of the year. They have no idea what a fall camp looks like with 25 practices and, maybe the workload for a student athlete. It's a really cool event to connect these players who are human beings navigating a lot in their life and trying to figure out, now you got this NIL world and so it really bridges the gap between these supporters and fans to these players who really they're navigating a lot right now with trying to get a degree and get to class and perform on Saturdays and just balancing everything that comes with being a student athlete. So making that connection, seeing that these kids are, these are humans that are, you take the helmet off and they've got, things they're working with too, but it just is a really neat event, just kind of seeing eye to eye with both fans and players alike. And getting people to experience that firsthand, it's really, really cool.
Wednesday, July 16th, it's at the River Ridge Landscape Company there in Laurel. You can find more information about this at a variety of different places, including bobcatcollective.com/Billings Barbecue. There's a whole list. Well, last thing for you, because I know you got another meeting coming up. So just what's this next little while look like for you? I'm sure you got some training camp or OTAs or something like that coming up. And how do you sort of continue to build and get better? Because like you say, this has been sort of a fresh start for you, so to speak, relearning a position. I know you played some receiver your freshman year, but sort of relearning a spot and trying to master it. So individually, how do you continue to improve? And what's the next couple months between now and when training camp, fall camp opens for you look like for you?
Yeah, so it's a quick turnaround for sure. There's mini camps that start this Thursday and next Thursday, and for rookie mini camp specifically. So I'll be heading down to Vegas middle of next week to get rolling down there, start learning. I'll start learning a little bit here and there of the offense and of their teams, just schematically, and yeah, the position change. I've done everything I possibly can, to be honest with you, to put myself in a great position to really start learning it. I know that it's going to be quite a process, and so I've obviously made sure to prep myself in every way I possibly can to make sure I'm conditioned, I'm fast, I'm agile, strong, all those things. So when I get down there, I'm a malleable piece to start shaping, and I'll be, all my intention will go towards that, until I hear otherwise, and until I get an opportunity. So I'm fired up for it. I know that I've always played quarterback, but I think that I think the best traits that I showed at quarterback was my mind, one, but also just playmaking ability when the ball's in your hand, and movement, I suppose. And so there's a lot of things that come very natural, but there's a lot of details within the wide receiver room that I'll certainly have to dial in. But I'm very excited for it.
Do you hope your locker's next to Cam Miller or as far away from Cam Miller as possible?
Yeah, no, I look forward to getting to know him for sure. I think that whatever the situation it is, I'm sure that we're both FCS guys, and so as much as we've been competitors this entire time, I'm sure we'll kind of gravitate towards each other just because we're familiar with each other for sure. So, and I know if I'll be playing receiver, I'll be getting as many catches as I possibly can, and I'll be getting on him. So I'm excited for it. Yeah, it's funny. When Brock Coyle got picked up by the 49ers years ago, J.P. Flynn from the Cats, so those guys were Cat Grizz rivals their whole lives. Their lockers are right next to each other. They're looking at each other like, I don't know about this guy. And then they become best friends, and they go through the whole thing together. So, yeah, exactly. I know Ty's he was in that exact same situation. So with O'Connell, yeah, totally. With Patrick O'Connell. So I know that they've built a good relationship now. So it's funny how that stuff works, but yeah, you always see. Well, awesome, man. Well, congratulations, Tommy Mellott here on Nuanez Now, ESPN Radio. From our perspective, this is great for us because we use Vegas as our hub. So I will definitely see you. We already got a plan to come to a preseason game. So go get them. And this won't be the last time we talk, but thanks so much for doing it today. Great. Yeah, thanks, Colter. I appreciate you.
Is a will you marry me in your future? Or maybe you do it all over again. Hi, I'm Brian Toon with Jewelry Design Center, inviting you to come see the largest selection of Will You Marry Me in the state of Montana. The brightest diamonds of every shape and size, unique settings built to last, and skilled jewelers on site offering free sizing and maintenance for life, because that's how long we want to be your jeweler. Jewelry Design Center in Missoula, on Brooks, across from the Montana Club.
Cash One Pawn has the most extensive inventory of any pawn shop in western Montana. Whether you're in the market for firearms, power tools, bows, video game consoles, or sunglasses, Cash One Pawn has the best deals around. And now Cash One Pawn gives you the ability to shop online from anywhere. Make CashOnePawn.com part of your shopping habits. Also make sure to download the Cash One Pawn app. Cash One Pawn, Missoula's premier pawn shop, located on Roller Coaster Road on the way to the Y. Tommy Mellott here on Nuanez Now, ESPN Radio, as well as the Big Sky Breakdown podcast series. 6th-round draft pick by the Las Vegas Raiders. Pete, getting to talk to any NFL coach, I'm sure, a thrill, right? But I mean, Pete Carroll has as much, name recognition and fame in our part of the world as anybody, right? I mean, when I was in college, he's the man at USC, and then he's been the man for the Seattle Seahawks for years and years and years. And this is sort of exciting that he has this sort of new and probably final chapter to his career there with the Raiders and their new ownership group and all this stuff. So, do you have much familiarity with Pete Carroll? It must have been a surreal moment for you to think, holy cow, I'm talking to Pete Carroll on the phone, and now this guy's my new head coach.
Yeah, no, it was for sure a surreal moment. I know that Ty Okada, he was coached by Pete Carroll when he first got to Seattle, and talking to him, he loved him, and everyone I've ever talked to that has had any sort of relationship with him, whether that mostly distance, but a distant relationship, they all loved him. So I really can't wait to get there. I know competition's a big thing for him. I'm fired up about that for sure. And yeah, it was for sure a surreal moment. I mean, he's won a national championship in college and won a Super Bowl in the NFL. And I think he might be the only head coach to do that. So it's incredible for sure.
You mentioned just making sure your name is hot at the right time. And I mean, you did that so well. I mean, you had some draft stocks certainly coming out of your awesome senior year, National Player of the Year. But between your pro day and the draft, I mean, your stock went through the roof. So how were you able to do it, and how gratifying was that, given the amount of work you put in over these last several months, but also just your entire athletic career, to see it sort of pay off and have this meteoric rise like you did?
Yeah, I mean, I can't take any credit for essentially how my name got out there. There's been a lot of people supporting me and giving me opportunities and really advocating for me. And to be honest with you, I don't really even know how all of it came to fruition. I know going into this off season, as soon as through the playoffs, it started to come to a realization that, my career is going to be over as soon as, we either lose the game or we make it to the national championship game, and that game will for sure be our last game. So, I was always super focused on this season and making the most of it. And so really, I know there's been content out there and explaining it all, but it was just a leap of faith after the season to start chasing the NFL dream, to be honest with you, because there's scouts that roll through Montana State, and there's people that reach out to you for training facilities, and there's a ton of agents that probably reach out to guys years in advance when they're sophomores, juniors, trying to get all that stuff organized. And there just wasn't a whole lot of hype surrounding my name, I think, to some extent, without that vision of possibly being more of a utility guy on offense and making a position change possibly as well, and a special teams guy for certain with a quarterback, that people just don't really see that very easily. So, I definitely believed in myself, and I knew that, in a certain offense with a certain system, there's for sure a ton of opportunities that I could. I'm a huge asset to a team in that way. And so, yeah, I just started training. And really, like I said, it was kind of a quiet time for sure. I had no idea if I was doing it all in vain or if it was, a opportunity at the end of it. I know that I believed in myself the entire time. But, as much as I'm kind of seeing now, there's got to be a lot of belief from within the NFL as well. It doesn't necessarily matter what you believing in yourself is the bare minimum. So, yeah, I was fired up for sure. When after the pro day and I was able to perform the way that I did, and with it being so late, a lot of teams are already in their war rooms and not really paying attention to those final days. And also they had Colorado's pro day the same day, so you just don't know how your name will get out there when it's so late. And so with all the media and advertisement that I was getting at that point, I know it has made a difference without a doubt. Now that I look back, and it was really just a blessing and great opportunity for sure.